Career Compass, in partnership with the National University of Singapore.
Hello, I'm Stanley Leong with Andrea Heng. Thank you for joining us on CNA 938. Charting your career, it doesn't start after graduation. It actually starts before enrollment. Because if you think about it, the course of study that you select and the institution that you choose to study it in will shape your career more than you can imagine.
So how is one local institute of higher learning ensuring that its graduates have the relevant skills and knowledge for the industry? And how have curriculum and teaching methodologies evolved and adapted to better fit a post-COVID world?
Time to find out from our guest on CNA 938. Joining us is Professor Bernard Tan, who is Senior Vice Provost of Undergraduate Education at the National University of Singapore, or NUS. Now, he assists the Provost in setting educational directions and policies and in ensuring educational quality for the university. Professor Tan, thank you for joining us on CNA 938. Welcome.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Stanley, for having me in your program.
Our pleasure. Professor Tan, first off, how can students get the best out of their university education from when they pick a university and also from when they pick a course to study?
Students can get the best out of their university education by not remaining in their comfort zone. A university education these days offers residential living opportunities, overseas exchange opportunities, internship opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities, and research opportunities, among others. At NUS, students can even take charge of a part of their learning experience by designing their own modules. And I encourage all students to make full use of these opportunities to enrich their university education.
That's sage advice there, Professor Tan. But do university rankings actually matter when choosing a university? Can you tell us what the unique features of NUS's transformative education are?
Rankings do not tell us everything about a university. When choosing a university, it is important to also look at the range of learning opportunities that the university offers, which may not be captured by rankings. However, studying in the renowned universities opens the door for students to pursue student exchange or subsequent graduate studies in equally renowned universities worldwide, or work in highly sought-after organizations. Now, in the last few years, NUS has carried out a massive transformation of our education curriculum to better prepare our students for the Industry 4.0 workplace. And I want to highlight 4 points here. Number one, because every industry will become more and more technology-centric and data-driven, we have introduced elements of digital literacy and data literacy into our programs. Number two, because workers will increasingly have to manage complex problems that transcend disciplinary boundaries, we have introduced a layer of interdisciplinary modules into our programs. Number three, because we can never tell which combinations of disciplines may become important in the future, we have kept the unrestricted elective space open in our programs so that students can respond accordingly by having good combinations of majors and minors as trends unfold. And finally, number four, because the rate of obsolescence of knowledge will increase, our majors help students to build a strong foundation in their chosen discipline, which will allow them to upskill and reskill through continuing education throughout their career.
So, Professor Tan, if I'm reading it right, there is that opportunity for students to, choose majors, minors. They may not seem directly related on the onset, but there is still that option for students to go about picking those subject combinations. Maybe one that is, something of a personal passion subject, and another that's directly relevant to the career trajectory that the student might want to take?
Yes, indeed. Students nowadays have so many combinations to pick from.
All right.
What is the true value of a university degree, Professor? I'm wondering, because if I'm a prospective student should I pick a degree in an area that I'm strong in and will excel? Or should I be guided by, say, personal passion, for example, or even enroll in a course that produces in-demand graduates who are sought after by employers? I guess an example of this would be, should I continue studying the media, for example, or which is what I'm good at and I'm already familiar in, or should I go after something like data science, which is more in demand now? What would you say?
Very interesting question. A good university education trains students to be agile in terms of learning new things, adaptive to changing circumstances, and aware of their own strengths and limitations. These qualities can help students to do well in their career. And having a university degree reflects such training that the student has received. Now, I encourage prospective students to choose a course of study that they are passionate about, so as to pursue a profession that they are passionate about. Students are more likely to do well when they are interested in the subject matter of their course of study. And when students graduate into a fast-changing world, they will have to keep refreshing their body of knowledge throughout their career in order to remain relevant. It is definitely easier to do this when they are passionate about their profession.
Yeah, you don't need to, put in the extra effort because you're already driven by passion in that sense. But we also have to look at industry needs, which continues to evolve and change rapidly. How is the NUS ensuring that your graduates have the relevant knowledge and skills in order to do well in the job market?
Yes, NUS pays a lot of attention to our graduate employment outcomes. Our faculties and schools, every one of them, have an industry advisory board comprising senior industry practitioners who give us guidance on the curriculum for our existing and new programs. In the last decade, there has been a significant increase in the number of practice professors. These are senior practitioners who have retired from the industry, as well as adjunct professors. These are senior practitioners who are still working in the industry, teaching with NUS. Last year, we have more than 10,000 NUS facilitated internships for our students. We have also introduced industry insights modules for students from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, students from the Faculty of Science, where senior practitioners will come and share latest industry developments with our students. And these and other measures have helped to prepare our students well for the workplace.
We are currently in conversation with Professor Bernard Tan. He is Senior Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education at the National University of Singapore. Now, Professor Tan, we hear that teaching and learning in a university today is very different from 10 years ago. Could you share with us some examples of how schools, programs, curriculum, even the teaching methodologies, how have they all evolved and adapted to better fit a post-COVID world?
Indeed, very different. As we emerge from COVID, the blended learning pedagogy will become more and more common in university education. Didactic lectures where instructor stands in front of a big class of students to disseminate knowledge and facts will increasingly be replaced by technology, which can include cartoons, videos, animations, among others. And high-tech setups will be used to give students a learning experience that is otherwise impossible. For example, at NUS, we have an imaginarium where geography students can experience an earthquake. Forensic science students can visit a crime scene, and civil engineering students can feel the danger of being in construction sites so as to learn about safety, among others. But having said this, in-person classes will still be used to allow students to engage one another in discussion, debate and problem solving, because such learning activities help students to reinforce what they have learned. Some aspects of learning are simply social in nature.
Right. So you do incorporate technology, also blending it with learnings that can be done in the real world as well.
Beyond the classroom.
Beyond the classroom, and also staying within the classroom. Professor Tan, also with the current, situation of dealing with inflation, rising cost of living, pursuing higher education can be challenging for some. I mean, we can't take it that everyone can afford going to university, but we know that the NUS isn't going to let that deter promising students from getting a good university education. So give us a sense, an idea as to what sort of financial aid is available and who might qualify for that.
Okay, NUS has a needs-blind admissions policy. We admit all our students based on merit and then support those who have financial needs with our financial aid. Students whose family has a per capita income of $1,100 a month or less will have their tuition fees fully covered by our financial aid. On top of this, students whose family has a per capita income of $750 or less a month will get $4,000 per annum for living expenses, as well as an opportunity enhancement grant of $10,000 over the 4 years of their candidature in the university to cover residential living and overseas exchange. It is important that students who have financial needs do not miss out on such learning opportunities.
Indeed. And what about those who are interested in the NUS undergraduate programs? What is the best way for them to learn about what NUS has to offer, Professor?
NUS will have an open house on our campus on the 4th of March, as well as various virtual open house sessions running from the 25th of February to the 6th of March. The details are on our websites. I strongly encourage those who are interested in our undergraduate programs to join us. Now, additional information on our undergraduate programs and learning opportunities are available on the websites of NUS admissions as well as our various faculties and schools. We have also conducted online webinars, and the videos are available on the Facebook page and YouTube channel of NUS admissions.
All right. Today on Career Compass, we've been in conversation with Professor Bernard Tan. He is Senior Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education at the National University of Singapore. Now, as Professor Tan mentioned, the NUS Open House 2023 is coming up. Let's go view the schedule by visiting www.nus.edu.sg/open house. Lots of activities there for you to check out if you want to know more about what NUS can offer for your next stage in the education journey. Professor Tan, thank you so much for joining us today on Money Minds Career Compass, and we wish you a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing those interested at our open house. Thank you.
Career Compass, in partnership with the National University of Singapore.